That is the Rio Grande River right behind me. And this is the official marker between the United States and America. So now I have just crossed over and I am in Mexico. I'm at the border between Eagle Pass and Piedras Negras in the state of Texas. And you can see the Mexican flag right there, the Rio Grande River. And then over here is this wall that was built by the Texas National Guard. You can see the barbed wire down there and the wall built with shipping containers. So that is the current situation here. And so I am going to be heading over into Mexico and I'm gonna take you on an amazing adventure today. So I'm down here right on the Rio Grande. There's a Rio Grande Riverwalk. And it actually looks like some people are attempting to cross. We're gonna see what you can do over on this side of the border. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different dentists just from where I'm standing. And most importantly, we're gonna eat a lot of food. So we got my fried corn here covered in cream, cheese, hot sauce. I am hungry. So let's get going. Come with me on this very, very interesting journey here into Mexico. So crossing the border itself is very easy. You pay $1 to use the bridge and you just walk into Mexico. You don't even have to show them your passport, but do not forget your passport if you're coming here because you will need it to come back into the United States. So we're walking across the bridge. We're officially over the river now and we're heading right into Piedras Negras. And here we are, my friends. Welcome to Piedras Negras. We can say, somos todos, vamos juntos. We are here in this Mexican city in Coahuila State. So this is a state in the northern part of Mexico, known for a lot of interesting culinary food. But one of the most interesting things invented here are nachos. And so that's something we're gonna be trying today, and we're gonna be getting into more of the history of where did nachos come from, but they came from here in Piedras Negras. And so we're in the sort of center area of the city, and you can see that large flagpole right behind me there. And you see the eclipse is actually coming tomorrow, so it's going to be passing right over here. So they're setting up something there, and then we've got the Rio Grande River right that way. So let's go check it out. Hola, ¿qué tal? Los elotes.
Sí.
Son ricos.
Elotes.
Dice elote ricos.
Ándale, elotes ricos, sí, si gusta elote.
Esos son esquitas.
Esquite dorado.
Y, sí, quiero, sí, un esquite dorado. Creo
¿Sí?
que bien, sí. Quiero probarlo. Con todo, por favor. Una chico.
Con todo.
35, sí. Una chico, por favor.
¿Vas para el taxi? ¿Cuánto?
Esto es
Mantequilla.
queso, mantequilla, ok.
¿Crema?
Sí, sí, por favor, con todo.
¿Chile?
Sí.
¿Queso?
Sí, por favor. Ok, gracias. So we got my fried corn here covered in cream, cheese, hot sauce. So excited. This was 35 pesos, which is about $2. And so I'm heading over here to the river for a nice view back in the United States from here in Mexico. Well, we have the esquites. So the shop said elotes ricas. So elotes are like a cob of corn that they cover in different cheese and hot sauce and things like that. But you can also get esquites, which is basically the corn removed. And in this case, it's esquites doradas. So that means like corn that has also been fried. So it's a little more than the boiled corn. So let's give it a try. It's covered in a lot of toppings, so you got to get a good bite. Try and get deep in there to get some of the corn out so you're not all toppings. Very good. I love the fried corn. It gives it kind of a little bit of extra flavor. So delicious. I'm down here right on the Rio Grande. There's a Rio Grande Riverwalk, and it actually looks like some people are attempting to cross or have made it to the other side, but they can't get around the fence. And so there's some people on that far side of the river. Initially, I thought they were just there fishing because it is common to fish along here, but why would they be on this side of the containers? And so it looks like there are some military dudes, probably Border Patrol, over here in their boats that are trying to rendezvous with these people. But very interesting, kind of seeing it in action coming here right now. So you can see them on the other side. They look like they're trying to find some sort of way across through the fence here, but there's a lot of barbed wire, and the containers would be very difficult to cross. It's interesting to be in what would be a very like sort of family-friendly area. So it's kind of the Riverwalk here, and then there's a bunch of people up here, and everyone's just kind of watching this situation unfold. It's probably very routine for these Border Patrol guys, just what they do every day. But seeing it here for the first time, it seems very, very tense. They're just kind of watching them, and as they're making their way around the river on the bank here, looking for some way to pass through. But they'd have to go pretty far to get around these containers to and even then there's far more fences down there. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but you can see everyone here is watching and wants to find out. So it looks like they're now into the barbed wire, or at least the two men over on that side. And I was speaking to these people next to me, and they told me it's pretty normal to see this like every day. Yeah, the river is kind of deep, so you gotta either swim or maybe take a small boat. So I don't know how they did it with kids. There's some rocks down here. Maybe they could have done it here, but it's got a big crowd. Everyone's watching. Kind of some entertainment here. So it looks like they are moving further down this container ship wall to maybe get around it. And so the Border Patrol has just been kind of following them. But fortunately, this is a river walk. It's a path that runs all along the Rio Grande here. Very nice on this side. And so we're gonna go over there and kind of see what's going on, if they're able to make it around. This is kind of interesting, so I want to follow it. So it appears that they are now surrendering to the Border Patrol. So you can see them. One person has just come down here and is talking with them, and they've got several kids with them, and those are also coming down through the fence, and they're gonna be rendezvousing with the Border Patrol. They were calling for help, actually, and you could hear them across the river saying "Ayuda, ayuda," and now they're all coming down. It's kind of a surreal situation. So it looks like there's a high school or middle school right behind me, and they're doing their football game. There's some practicing here, and then we're playing the game out there, American football, which I believe is probably popular just here south of the border. And then right over here, there's a whole like international incident playing out that nobody bats an eye at. It just seems like, you know, whatever, pretty normal. And I think a lot of the people that were watching it, at least earlier, are from out of town because the eclipse is here, and so it's nothing new to them. And so we can see as we come down here, we can see the family, and it looks like they are now communicating with the Border Patrol, perhaps surrendering here now that they're in the United States. So the people are now, they actually didn't get in the boat. They're now walking sort of further along the border here. And I'm not sure kind of the legal status of that land, you know, before the fence and what that all means. But, you know, obviously their goal is to get into the United States and then be processed. And so as they go into the United States, they're gonna be met by the Border Patrol. They'll be interviewed, they'll be fingerprinted, and then depending on their nationality and different other things that they said in the interview, potentially be able to apply for asylum and stay in the United States, be released into the United States, sort of depends on the situation, and given a court date much, much later in the future to solve their immigration matter. So effectively, a lot of them can just end up staying once they've been able to pass and touch the land and be apprehended by those Border Patrol. So I don't know the entire legality and legal situation here, so don't quote me on any of it. But, you know, it is something that is changing. There's been different laws through Congress, different presidential actions, and things the state of Texas is doing as well that kind of make it more complicated than I can quite understand or explain. But I think my big takeaway from watching this is just how open it is, how people are just sort of crossing, and people here in Piedras Negras don't really bat an eye. It's just kind of like a normal thing. And so on the one hand, we've got this beautiful plaza that's having a concert, and that's a really nice place. And then on the other hand, you've got people with absolutely nothing crossing the river here, trying to get to the United States. And so it's a very interesting and complicated situation, to say the least. So we can see behind me, that's the view up top of the Rio Grande River with America on the other side. But enough of the border, let's go what we really came here for, which is the food. So I want to find nachos. They were invented here, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the story of nachos. So there's a few different stories. The truth is, so the story of nachos is that there were some Army Air Corps officers, their wives, living in Eagle Pass on the American side of the border back in like 1943. And they came over to the southern side here in Piedras Negras, and they went to a restaurant called Victory Club, and they wanted something to eat, but the cook was not there. And so the owner, whose name was Ignacio, created a meal for them very quickly. He took some tortilla chips, grated some yellow cheese on top of that. He threw that in the broiler, let the cheese melt a little bit, and then he put some pickled jalapeno slices on top. They loved it. They called it the Ignacio Special, and you know what's short for Ignacio? Nacho is the nickname. So that's how we got nachos. And that's the story, they say. But then they later said that, well, maybe there was this other restaurant, El Moderno, where it actually came from, so who knows? But nachos are very important to Piedras Negras, as they did come from here. And they actually have a nacho festival every year. I think it's in October, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can come here and enjoy all the different nachos that they make here. Kind of the famous international food now. So I have reached the place where they have the best nachos. That's what, at least that's what it says according to Google. The best nachos in Mexico are apparently here. And I'm having a cocktail called a Vampiro. And so this is kind of like a Bloody Mary, a spicy Bloody Mary with tequila is maybe the best way to describe it. It's also sweet. So let's give it a try. Ooh, it's very good. And we got the nachos, but as you can see, these ones are not one plate, everything thrown together. These are like almost individual nachos, so it's very interesting. Could be something just at this restaurant, but we've got meat, we've got cheese, we've got the tortilla on the bottom, and of course we have jalapeno and avocado. So I get them enhanced. The regular is just cheese and jalapeno, but this enhanced one looks really good. I'll try one now. Go like this here. Very, very good stuff. One thing that's wild in Piedras Negras is how many dentist offices there are here. So we've got like one obviously right here, but just looking this direction, I can count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different dentists just from where I'm standing. That's not even looking this way. I passed by more dentists there. And then further along here is a veterinary office. And so it's like everywhere we're looking, we're seeing medical offices. It must be significantly cheaper to come here to get those medical services, because that's like, this is just a couple blocks in. And whoa. So I'm just a couple blocks in from the border, and I've got a dentist right behind me. Got a dentist over here. We've got a dentist here. Another one back there. I see one right down here. This looks like a closed dentist here. So it's just everywhere you go, there's a dentist office. And, you know, getting dental care in the United States, I can see why. It's a lot cheaper coming here to do it. So people just cross the border, they do it, and they go back. And if you got to see the dentist once a year, every 6 months, something like that, it's pretty easy to do. Hola. Sí, ¿cuáles son los dulces más populares de esta región?
Esos que están ahí, calabaza, camote, leche, coco.
¿Puede mostrarme?
Es calabaza, camote, leche con coco, leche con nuez, coco.
Quiero probar un leche con nuez, por favor. Ok, está bien, gracias.
25 pesos.
25, ok. Dale.
Que le vayan muy bien.
Gracias. I saw a sign for regional sweets. So I didn't want to fill up. I'm eating a lot today, but we've got this kind of sweet with nuts here. So let's see how this is. It's like a dulce de leche with nuts. Very, very delicious. Well, the place is getting a bit busier. Got the park here and it's all set up with vendors. So they're having a big party tonight for the eclipse, which is tomorrow. But it's pretty happening place. There's some music going on the stage, a lot of people around. It's really quite a contrast to those people we saw crossing the border earlier with nothing. And then you've got a really nice environment here with the local people enjoying themselves. So quite an interesting contrast. A lot of, you know, obviously it's a complicated situation, but it's been interesting to kind of see those two different worlds happening over here. But let's continue through the park. I'll show you a little bit what's going on here. Hola.
Hola.
¿Hay algo que puedo probar? Nunca he probado este chamoy. Sí, sí. Oh, y eso, eso es un poquito de chamoy. We're gonna try the chamoy. It's sour. It's interesting. Okay, gracias. Muchas gracias.
Tengo guayaba, guava.
Ah, puedo probar. Oh, gracias. Es una guayaba con chamoy.
Sí.
Ah, guava with chamoy. Let's try it. Very good. It's sour and fruity at the same time. Really important flavor here in Mexican cuisine. So if you want to check her out, El Chamoy de Andrea. ¿Estás, Andrea?
Sí.
Okay, gracias, Andrea. Ciao. So, Andrea has really good chamoy. These are delicious. They're like these little guava bites, very sweet, but that interesting chamoy flavor. So chamoy is basically like a pickled fruit. Like they take the fruit brine and somehow pickle it and maybe add some chili pepper into it. It's a difficult flavor to describe, but something I would recommend if you're here in Mexico. Definitely try it, or if you can find it wherever you are. Gracias.
Hola, ¿me oía? ¿Una, verdad?
Sí.
Listo.
Okay, gracias.
Gracias.
Just bought myself a water here for 10 pesos. It's a little cooler than it was earlier, but it's still quite hot today. Really getting ready for this party here. You can see the Tecate. It's gonna be the official spots are here, serving up their beer. And then the stage is going. So people are doing some sound checks up there, getting ready. Becoming a more lively atmosphere here than it was a few hours ago. This is the Riverwalk. One of the nice things to do here in Piedras Negras is walk along the Rio Grande, and we can see some people already over here crossing. Some guys in jeans that are on the other side of the border, and a bunch of Border Patrol agents or Texas National Guard. I'm not sure exactly looking at them. Pretty wild, but we're walking along the promenade here, and it's really beautiful. A lot of like graffiti, art rather, on the walls here, and a lot of different like little graffitis where you can take a picture with it. So like some balloons, and you can look like you're holding it or whatever. So it is quite a nice area, and there's a little party going on down here, it appears. Some music and some things like that. So heading down here to check that out. But pretty surprising just to see more border crossers right over here on the other side there. 3 dudes this time. Wow.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Hay muchas aguas frescas. ¿Este arroz con leche es como horchata?
Sí,
como horchata.
Fría.
Pero fría. ¿Puedo verlo?
¿La quiere probar?
Sí puedo probar un poquito. Oh, son helados, no son aguas. Ok. Estaba pensando como aguas frescas. Ok,
No,
son helados. Ok, gracias.
Muy bien.
Pero en ese momento no quiero helado. Pero gracias, ok, gracias. ¿Puedo darte?
Ahí está el...
Ok, gracias.
Those were really good. Those are ice creams. I'm not in the mood for an ice cream right now, but ooh, these guys, I'm not in the mood for an ice cream. This truck just fell off its axis and bumped down here, and all of their salsas fell to the ground. Un trabajo muy peligroso. Wow. So we're kind of down at the end of the food here. We've got gorditas. These are very famous Mexican food, and some other drinks. Maybe we can get a drink. I'm feeling a drink. Let's see.